Welcome back to True Tomorrows. I'm Adrian Smith, and we're diving headfirst into another wild future story ripped straight from the headlines of tomorrow.
I'm Julia Jones, and I'm here to help you separate the science fact from the science fiction. Because, sometimes that line gets a little blurry.
Yeah, sometimes it does. We love exploring those weird and often hilarious ways tech is shaping our world. And today's story is no exception. It's one of those cautionary tales about scientific ambition gone wrong, so strap in. Things are about to get really interesting.
It certainly makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where do we draw the line between progress and, potentially unleashing chaos?
Right. So to set the scene, imagine a world where a group of bored science geeks calling themselves the Catalyst Crew accidentally stumble upon a discovery that changes everything. They're tinkering away in their basement lab, and they create this liquid that's not just bubbling, it's practically warping reality around it.
This warping effect they observed, was there any indication in the research notes about what might be causing it? I'm curious about the physics behind such a phenomenon.
They were definitely excited, but also a little terrified, because they realized they had created something incredibly unstable. I mean, who wouldn't be, right? And the consequences, as you can imagine, are pretty dramatic.
Unstable scientific breakthroughs, huh? Well, they're a recurring theme in science fiction. Kind of begs the question, is there a fundamental flaw in our approach to discovery?
Maybe so. So the lab starts shaking, the beaker tips over, and a single drop of this liquid falls to the floor. But it doesn't just splash. It rips open a hole in reality, like a swirling vortex of impossible colors.
A tear in the fabric of space-time? That's quite a visual. The research notes didn't mention anything about interdimensional travel, did they?
Not exactly. But they did theorize about the possibility of, alternate dimensions or parallel universes. This liquid seems to have unlocked something extraordinary.
Intriguing. So what emerged from this interdimensional rift?
Well, out of this hole emerges a creature. It's described as being kind of like an insect, but way more terrifying. We're talking too many legs, too many eyes, and an exoskeleton that shimmers and shifts like liquid metal. Definitely not something you want to find crawling around your basement.
That sounds like something straight out of a science fiction horror film. The speed at which this creature appeared after the liquid drop, does that suggest a kind of pre-existing connection between dimensions?
That's a good question, and one that the Catalyst crew themselves were grappling with. It's as if this liquid acted like a key, unlocking a door that was already there, waiting to be opened. One of the crew members, Sarah, just happens to have an experimental flamethrower handy. Yeah, because why not? And she blasts the creature.
A flamethrower. While I admire her quick thinking, I suspect a conventional weapon wouldn't be very effective against an interdimensional being.
You're probably right. Blasting this thing with fire just seems to make it angrier. It charges at them, moving with incredible speed and agility. It seems like whatever dimension this creature came from might have some pretty harsh conditions, forcing it to evolve some pretty impressive survival instincts.
That's a fascinating observation. Extreme environments often lead to rapid evolution. We see that in nature as well. Perhaps we can glean some insights into the creature's biology by analyzing its behavior.
But it's not just one creature. This incident opens up a gateway, and more of these things start pouring through. The Catalyst crew quickly realizes that they need to contain this situation before it, spirals completely out of control. Their initial excitement quickly turns to panic as their basement lab becomes ground zero for an interdimensional invasion.
Containment is crucial in any scientific experiment, but especially when you're dealing with something this unpredictable. I can only imagine the chaos unfolding in that lab.
It was pure pandemonium. But here's where things get even crazier. These creatures aren't just multiplying, they're evolving at an alarming rate. Each new one is more deadly than the last. It's like they're adapting to their new environment in real time, tweaking their biology to survive and thrive.
Rapid evolution. Well, it's a powerful force in nature. We've seen it with bacteria developing antibiotic resistance and insects adapting to pesticides. This suggests that these creatures possess an extraordinary genetic plasticity.
It's both fascinating and terrifying to think about, but it gets worse. The situation escalates from the basement to the town, and pretty soon it feels like the whole world is on the brink of a terrifying transformation. This isn't just a local problem anymore, it's a global crisis.
The research notes, do they mention anything about the liquid's potential impact on the environment? We need to consider the possibility of ecological repercussions as well.
They did express some concerns about potential environmental contamination, But they never imagined anything on this scale. They thought they were dealing with a localized phenomenon. But it seems like this liquid has triggered like a chain reaction that's affecting the entire planet.
This highlights the interconnectedness of our world. One seemingly isolated event can have global ramifications. It's a reminder of the kind of delicate balance we need to maintain with our planet and with scientific exploration.
Absolutely. So now the Catalyst crew is facing a truly impossible situation. Their experiment has gone horribly wrong, and they have no idea how to stop it.
What a predicament. It's a stark reminder of the responsibility that comes with scientific discovery. What did they do next?
Well, exhausted and facing like an onslaught of these creatures, they gather around the last of the catalyst, the substance that started it all. Their only hope, it seems, is to try a reset.
A reset? What does that entail?
Their research advisor had mentioned it as a theoretical possibility, a way to, like, revert matter back to its most basic form, essentially a cosmic do-over.
Essentially rewinding the clock on existence itself? That's a bold and incredibly risky move. Is such a thing even scientifically plausible?
It's highly speculative, to say the least. The theory is based on the idea that all matter originated from a singularity, like the Big Bang. If they could somehow recreate those conditions on a localized scale, they might be able to undo the damage they've caused.
It sounds like they're attempting to create a miniature Big Bang in their basement. That's both fascinating and utterly terrifying. I can only imagine the energy required for such a feat.
It's definitely a long shot, but they're desperate. They're facing a choice. Either try to reset everything and risk the unknown, or watch as these creatures consume the world as we know it. Neither option is particularly appealing.
They're caught between a rock and a hard place. A classic dilemma in science fiction. What happens next? Do they go through with the reset?
They do. May, one of the crew members, steps up. She knows it's a long shot, but she's determined to try and fix what they've broken. Her courage is commendable. Facing such a monumental task with such resolve is truly inspiring.
It's a testament to the human spirit, our unwavering desire to find solutions even in the face of overwhelming odds. So what happened when she initiated the reset?
She smashes the catalyst on the ground, and instead of an explosion, there's an implosion. It's like a wave of nothingness that spreads outward, consuming everything in its path, the creatures, the lab, the town.
A void that erases everything. It's a chilling yet strangely beautiful image. What happened after the implosion subsided? Was there anything left?
And then silence. Not the silence of an empty world, but a silence filled with potential. It's the silence of a universe waiting to be reborn. The story ends on that note of ambiguity. We're left wondering what kind of world will emerge from this reset. Yes, any world at all.
A cliffhanger ending that leaves us pondering the possibilities. It's a powerful reminder that our actions can have unintended consequences that, ripple through time and space. Even the most brilliant minds can make mistakes with catastrophic results.
And that's where we'll leave off for today. But don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow to unpack the aftermath of this cosmic reset and explore the implications of the Catalyst crew's actions. Stay tuned, folks, because things are about to get really interesting.
Until then, keep those minds curious. And remember, sometimes the future is stranger than fiction. That was quite a cliffhanger. We're left with this image of a silent universe, poised for rebirth. It's almost poetic.
It is, and it really highlights the power of scientific ambition. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
The drive to explore and innovate can lead to incredible breakthroughs, but it also carries the risk of unforeseen consequences.
The Catalyst crew's story is a fictionalized account, of course, but it raises some very real concerns about the potential for scientific advancements to spiral out of control.
Exactly. We see it all around us, right? From the ethical dilemmas of artificial intelligence to the potential dangers of genetic engineering. It seems like every new discovery comes with a whole new set of challenges and risks.
It's a delicate balance. We strive to push the boundaries of knowledge and innovation while also ensuring that our creations don't backfire on us. It's a responsibility that falls on the shoulders of scientists, engineers, policymakers, and frankly, all of us.
It's like walking a tightrope. You want to move forward, but you also need to be incredibly careful not to lose your balance.
Precisely. The consequences of a misstep can be devastating, as we saw with the Catalyst crew. Their desire to unlock the secrets of the universe inadvertently unleashed a force that threatened to unravel reality itself.
And they had to make some tough choices along the way, including that final decision to initiate the reset. That had to be an agonizing decision, knowing that they were essentially gambling with the fate of the entire universe.
It's a reminder that progress isn't always linear. Sometimes it takes a step back or even a complete reset to course correct and avoid disaster.
In a way, it's a powerful metaphor for life itself. We all make mistakes along the way, and sometimes we have to hit the reset button to get back on track.
Absolutely. It's about learning from our mistakes, adapting to new challenges, and finding the courage to keep moving forward even when the path ahead is uncertain.
So as we contemplate the potential outcomes of the Catalyst Crew's reset, let's consider some real-world examples of scientific advancements that have had unintended consequences.
The invention of the automobile, for example, revolutionized transportation, but it also contributed to air pollution and traffic congestion.
And the development of nuclear energy offered a promising source of clean power, but it also brought the threat of nuclear weapons and radioactive waste.
These examples demonstrate that even the most well-intentioned innovations can have unforeseen, potentially harmful side effects.
It's a reminder that we need to approach scientific progress with a sense of humility and caution. We need to ask ourselves not just, can we do this, but also, should we do this?
And we need to have open and honest conversations about the potential risks and benefits of new technologies involving not just scientists and engineers, but also policymakers, ethicists, and the general public.
It's a collective responsibility to ensure that our technological advancements serve humanity and don't inadvertently lead to our own demise.
The Catalyst Crew's story is a fictional cautionary tale, but it serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of responsible innovation.
It's a call to action for all of us to think critically about the future we're creating and to work together to ensure that it's a future worth living in.
Speaking of the future, what are your thoughts on the concept of a reset as depicted in the story? Do you think it's even remotely plausible from a scientific standpoint?
It's certainly a fascinating thought experiment. The idea of rewinding the universe to its initial state is mind-boggling, to say the least. But from what I understand, it would require an unimaginable amount of energy and control over the fundamental forces of nature.
Exactly. It's pushing the boundaries of theoretical physics to their limits. We're talking about manipulating the very fabric of space-time.
It makes you wonder if there are limits to what science can achieve, or if we'll eventually reach a point where we can literally rewrite the laws of physics.
It's a question that has captivated scientists and philosophers for centuries. Where does human ingenuity end and the realm of the impossible begin? The Catalyst Crew's story seems to suggest that those boundaries are constantly being challenged.
And sometimes those boundaries are blurred or even broken. It's both exhilarating and terrifying to consider the possibilities.
Indeed. But as we delve deeper into the unknown, we must proceed with caution and a profound sense of responsibility. The future is unwritten, and it's up to us to shape it wisely.
Well said. So as we wait to see what kind of world emerges from the Catalyst Crew's cosmic reset, let's keep exploring these complex questions about science, technology, and the future of humanity.
Because the true tomorrows are yet to be written, and they will be shaped by the choices we make today.
And that's a wrap for part 2 of our deep dive into the Catalyst Crew's story. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss the ending and delve into some of the philosophical implications of their actions. Welcome back to True Tomorrows. It's Adrian Smith here, and we're wrapping up our deep dive into the Catalyst Crew's story. It's been quite a ride.
It really has. We've explored the perils of scientific ambition, the possibility of alternate dimensions, and the mind-boggling concept of a cosmic reset.
Right. And now we're left with that lingering question. What happened after the implosion? Did the Catalyst Crew succeed in, resetting the universe? Or did they create something even more chaotic?
The story leaves it open to interpretation, which is, I think, brilliant. It forces us to confront the unknown and consider the potential consequences of our actions, both as individuals and as a species.
Exactly. It's like a mirror, reflecting our own anxieties about the future. Are we on the cusp of a technological utopia, or are we hurtling toward, like, a dystopian nightmare of our own making?
It's a question that has plagued humanity for centuries. And as we delve deeper into the realms of artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and quantum computing, those anxieties become even more pronounced.
It's like we're playing with forces they don't fully understand. And while the potential for good is undeniable, so too is the potential for unintended consequences.
The Catalyst Crew's story is a powerful reminder of that. They started with noble intentions, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to, push the boundaries of science.
But their curiosity led them down a path fraught with danger, ultimately forcing them to make an impossible choice. Reset the universe and risk annihilation, or watch as their creation consumes everything they hold dear.
It's a stark reminder that progress isn't always linear. Sometimes it takes a step back, a reassessment, a willingness to, question our assumptions and acknowledge the limits of our understanding.
It's about finding a balance between ambition and responsibility, between pushing the boundaries of innovation while also safeguarding against potential risks.
Speaking of risks, you mentioned earlier the potential for a dystopian future. What are some specific concerns you have about the direction technology is heading?
Well, for one, the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence raises all sorts of ethical dilemmas. We're creating machines that can learn, adapt, and potentially even surpass human intelligence.
It's a prospect that both excites and terrifies us. On the one hand, AI could revolutionize countless industries, from healthcare to transportation, solving some of humanity's most pressing problems.
But on the other hand, it also poses significant risks. What happens when machines become smarter than their creators? How do we ensure that AI is used for good and not for nefarious purposes?
Those are questions that we need to be grappling with right now, not after it's too late. We need to establish clear ethical guidelines for AI development and ensure that these technologies are aligned with human values.
Absolutely. And it's not just AI. Genetic engineering also presents a Pandora's box of ethical dilemmas. The ability to, manipulate the very building blocks of life is both awe-inspiring and potentially dangerous.
The potential for both good and bad is immense. We could eradicate diseases, enhance human capabilities, and even extend lifespans. But we could also create designer babies, exacerbate social inequalities, and even inadvertently unleash unforeseen genetic mutations.
It's a slippery slope. And it's imperative that we proceed with caution and a deep understanding of the potential consequences.
The Catalyst Crew's story is a fictionalized account, of course, but it highlights the very real possibility that our technological advancements could outpace our ability to control them.
Right. And it's not just about controlling technology. It's about understanding its impact on society, on the environment, on the very fabric of our existence.
It's about recognizing that we're not just creating tools and gadgets, we're shaping the future. And the choices we make today will have profound implications for generations to come.
So as we wrap up our discussion of the Catalyst Cruise story, I want to leave our listeners with this thought. The future is not predetermined. It's a canvas waiting to be tainted, and we are the artists.
The choices we make, the technologies we develop, the values we embrace, these are the brushstrokes that will shape the world of tomorrow.
So let's choose wisely, let's innovate responsibly, and let's work together to create a future that is both bright and sustainable. Thanks for joining us on True Tomorrows. We'll be back with another captivating story from the edge of technology and imagination.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep imagining the possibilities. And don't forget to rate and follow us for more mind-bending journeys into the future.